Hey, welcome to your local weather report. Plus, we got to talk about something not so local as well that happened because we have to talk about it. It's important. But anyway, today we had a mostly sunny day. There were some clouds around at times. Can't really see it here, but you definitely can see it here on the MODIS a little bit. It doesn't look like a lot, but there were some clouds that popped up over Long Island, some over New Jersey as well. So it wasn't completely clear. Um, but more or less plenty of sunshine today, though. So let's show you. I was looking for some fall colors today. Found a little bit in Deer Park, a little bit. Some of these oaks changed. A lot of them haven't yet. These have, but a lot of them haven't yet. The oaks usually have to wait until next week. But definitely found a little bit of color out there. And then this is what it looked like back at the lake. I don't know. The sky looked like it had a little bit of haze to it. It wasn't like the kind of sky we had when I last week or even on Saturday. It seemed like the sky was even on that hot Saturday. It seemed like we had a bluer sky than today. But anyway, I don't know why. I guess I could look at the smoke. I don't think there's any, but you know what? Just for the heck of it, why don't we look at this and see why we seem like there was just a little bit of haze? I don't know. We'll just run this. I don't think there's anything, but hey, we'll see. Well, there is something. So I guess there was still some smoke, I guess. That's why we saw a little bit of haze in the sky today. Seeing a little bit of smoke here on this model. So I haven't even been talking about the smoke for a while. But yeah, I guess a little bit of something there. I don't know where it's coming from exactly, but it seemed like the sky had a little bit of haze to it today. Just a very slight little bit, but it has to be coming from Canada, I guess. There's still some fires going over there or whatever. But anyway, it was still a nice sunny day. I mean, there were some clouds. It wasn't like the best day. You know, it wasn't like the perfect crisp sky that I like, but at least it was. It wasn't as windy, but it was still chilly today. So let's enough about the sky. Let's go over what our current conditions are out there because some areas are pretty cold. Yeah, it's already down at 39 in Carl Place, 37 at Farmingdale. Islip is 37 as well. Note the dew point of 29. That means it's going to drop. We're going to get some radiational cooling. Unfortunately, West Hampton has decided not to work tonight. It's down. We don't have any readings at West Hampton except the temperature gauge is down tonight. Unbelievable. So we'll have to look at another Pine Barrens location. You can see 34 at Brookhaven. So mid-30s already in the Pine Barrens, and it'll go below freezing. We still got 40s in the city. And looking at New Jersey Pine Barrens, yep, 28 at Miller Air Park, and they're probably going to go down in the mid-20s. They're going to easily be below freezing tonight, for sure. Still sick with the cold, so that's why I didn't do too many. I would have liked to have gone further out east for a bigger hike in the Pine Barrens, but I just couldn't. I was still sick. So I just took a little one in Deer Park and a little walk by Sutherland's Lake. I don't think the leaves have changed along the oaks yet. They usually don't peak until the second week of November. So next week maybe we'll see some more color from them, and I can maybe do a video out there. But let's show you what the day was like at Islip. So you can see 37 there, and you could see only in the 40s today. That's it. We were only in the 40s, and you could see, you could see the clouds that developed here throughout much of the day here at Islip. You can see this is the clouds here being reported out. Oh, that's yesterday. Where's today? We're missing some observations here. I knew that wasn't right. We didn't have that many clouds today. But you could see there were some clouds being reported at Islip, few scattered. For some reason, they weren't taking as many observations. But yeah, mid-40, upper 40s, actually. So, yeah, dew point's nice and low. So, all right, let's go to our look at our highs for the day across the area. We'll start with the lows because that's going to be more interesting. 28 this morning at West Hampton, 28 at Brookhaven, 30 at Islip, 32 at Farmingdale. So everybody pretty much got in the 30s. Even LaGuardia got down to 37. And New Jersey as well in their Pine Barrens. Looks like the Pine Barrens at Toms River have us beat out with a low of 23 at Miller Air Park, 24 at Coyle Field. Mid-20s in a lot of the Pine Barrens there. Probably because the winds were able to drop off a little more there, perhaps. Highs. Upper 40s too. Well, it did hit 50 at Farmingdale. It's still almost 10 degrees below normal. Otherwise, upper 40s. A little warmer than yesterday. 50 degrees at LaGuardia. And New Jersey got into the low 50s, so a little warmer there. And you can see the winds kind of shifted around to the southwest tonight. We can look at Wonder Map as well. Maybe we can pick up get a few more sites here as far as the temperatures go for you. So here are your temperatures, and you can see those lows again in the upper 30s. The temperatures in the upper 30s. You get the city being warmer, but you see we're in the upper 30s. South Shore actually is warmer too, right along, because again, there's no radiational cooling there, but you get the radiational cooling in the middle of the island inland. Definitely in the Pine Barrens, I see some 20s, 29, and in Manaville, so it's pretty chilly out there tonight, but it won't feel as cold as last night because I won't have the wind, but it'll still be cold. Still be cold. We already got temperatures in the 30s already in Germany, and like I said already, they're below freezing already. So let's talk about this big storm that hit Europe, which I didn't know about until this evening. This storm was called Ciaran. I'm sure I'm not. Let's see, pronounced Ciaran. So it's Ciaran. Pummeled France's Atlantic coast with record-breaking winds. Gusts of about 120 miles an hour were reported in parts of Brittany, and at least one person has died, and 1.2 million customers without power. So this was a very, very intense storm. Broke a lot of records. Record lowest barometric pressure set. Really just crazy. Is an article from the BBC. We got to talk about this because this is crazy. Look at these waves here. The Met Office issued a yellow warning with wind and rain. This is for the United Kingdom. There's a lot of flooding as well there. It was like pretty much like a hurricane hit the United Kingdom. Really, really bad. Really a lot of damage. Trees uprooted. Lots of power outages, even building damages here. So really, really bad. This is from the United Kingdom. Train service was suspended. A ferry. I don't know how they could sail any ferries in this weather. But you can see the kind of pictures that they were dealing with there. And this is just the United Kingdom. They didn't even get the brunt of it. France actually got the brunt of it. Atlantic France here. Here's an article from the Weather Channel. Deadly storm Ciaran brings 100-plus mile-an-hour winds to northwest Europe, knocks out power to millions. Record-breaking winds in France and across much of Western Europe left at least 7 people dead. So now we have death toll 7, and several other injured as storm Ciaran swept through the continent overnight into Thursday, plunging vast numbers into darkness, devastating homes, and causing travel mayhem. Winds of more than 118 miles an hour slammed the northern tip of France's Atlantic coast, uprooting trees. So, there was a widespread power outages. 1.2 million French households were left without electricity on Thursday. Electrical utility entity said in a statement. This includes about half the homes in Brittany, the Atlantic Peninsula hardest hit by Ciaran. It's going to be hard to pronounce that name. Sorry. And it said it would deploy 3,000 workers to restore power. The winds reached up to nearly 100 miles an hour on the Normandy coast and up to around 90 miles an hour inland. So local trains were canceled. And I know that there was a record for this storm. Record low barometric pressure was reported as well. Thousands without power, and let's see if they bring that up. But there was a record for record low barometric pressure. The area of low pressure, or let's see if they talk about their that record low. But there was a record low air pressure here. There were hailstones as well. Hail. They had hail bigger than a golf ball. So they had some severe thunderstorms embedded in this hurricane-like storm. Well, let's put it like that at least. They don't really talk about the record here, but there was a record set for this storm. We could put, I think it's a record. Let's see, we could put record here. Record low pressure was reported there. I know that. I read it when I was reading it earlier. Now I can't find it. let's see. We'll have to Google it now because, yes. So here we go. Uh, 953 millibars. Low pressure in the eye of the cyclone declined rapidly, dropping by more than 24 millibars in 24 hours to near a record low of 953 millibars. So it's a bomb cyclone that hit Europe, and we're going to look at some images of this on the satellite here because this is quite noteworthy here. It seems like we're missing images here. Are we missing images? Here we go. Here we go. This is it right here. All right, so here you go. And this is what it looked like earlier. So it doesn't look tropical, but you got to wonder where it got its energy from. Maybe we can trace it back to a tropical system. Possibly, we could trace it back to a tropical system. But very, very impressive nonetheless to see that storm. Let's go to the MODIS here. I'm at the GOES, and we'll see. I don't think they're going to actually have. Yeah, we don't really have. It's not going to cover Europe. I'm sure there's somewhere I can get a European satellite, but one thing we can do is look at the observations. So let's go back to the weather and hazards map here, and we can look at some of the observations because they will blow your mind. So we're going to pick up some of these observation sites right here so you can get an idea of what they were dealing with here. All right, this is the area of France that was hit very hard. So if we go to a little town called Brest, and you'll see here, probably not a little town, it's probably a city, but if we go back, we can look at some of the observations from earlier this morning here, and you can see, look at some of these observations here. The wind's gusting up to over 86 mile an hour wind gusts, west at 52, gusting to 86 with rain. Really something to see. There was some heavy rain, too, with this. This doesn't show the rainfall amounts, unfortunately. Maybe I can have it display the rainfall amounts because I'm kind of curious about that, too, as well. But these are some pretty bad conditions. We go over here to another site here on the Atlantic coast of France, and you can see some of these observations are insane here. Get gusts, a gust. Look at this: west wind at 62, gusting to 99 miles an hour at 2:30 this morning. Pretty crazy stuff. Look at that: 8.21 inches of pressure. That's very, very low. That's like the kind of pressure you get in a hurricane. I mean, you know, it's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, like I said, this whole area was just battered by it. The Channel Islands also were battered by it too as well. So if we go over here and look at some of these observations here, for instance, here, I'll show you and see if I could try to get the rainfall on here too as well. You can see here, yeah, we had some pretty strong winds. Look at this. Look at this. 5:50 this morning. West-southwest wind at 71, gusting to 100 miles an hour on the Channel Islands. That is insane. Look at these wind gusts, and it lasted a while too. You know, it lasted most of the day actually. So it started in around 5 this morning, and it 5 in the morning on November 1st, and it continued through November 2nd. So it was a slow-moving storm. Here we go. West wind at 66, gusting to 94. West wind at 66, gusting to 93. That is absolutely an insane amount of wind. Really insane for that. This is called Jersey. That's what it's called, Jersey, this area, I guess. So really, really bad. And southern parts of the UK also got hit, but not as... We can look at Exeter, for instance. See if we can get a observation from them. We'll go a little closer to the coast, Plymouth. See what kind of conditions they had. Not nearly as bad as what they dealt with further south. Only gusts up to 28, but what a storm, I tell you. So let's see if we can get the rain. I don't know if this is going to actually be able to give us rainfall totals, but we're going to try to see if we can get rainfall totals for this as well. So you can see quite a bit of rain here as well. This is the southern part of the United Kingdom. Some of these might be a little off. I think that's a little off, but you had a lot of rain too, which caused some flooding. Let's go back to that area in France. Yeah, they're not really reporting rainfall here. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can get there. They're not reporting rainfall. I'm sure they got it, but it's just not being reported. You're dealing with other countries and their systems, so it's different, obviously. But we're going to visualize Ciaran now because we're going to go to Ventus Sky and take a visual look at this storm here. We'll rewind the clock to around 3, I guess 2 this morning or 3 this morning. So let's rewind it. All right. May have to go back a little more than this, actually, because this goes by our time. So, got them. They're ahead of us there in Europe. So, there's your storm. And right now, we don't have the wind gusts set up. So, let me get the wind gusts on here so you get an idea. Look at this thing. So, here's the storm right here. Look at these wind gusts here. What an insane amount of wind. I mean, that. Look at the field on that thing. So, this is this morning. Well, they were getting hit this morning. This was our afternoon for us yesterday. But you can see just incredible amount of wind here. I mean, look at the. I mean, just incredible amount of wind from this thing, and it just slammed this part of France here. This is where the most power outages are. Now, from what I read, the transmission system did not fail. It's mostly distribution, which is kind of surprising. But you can see. Look at that. I mean, these are some really, really intense winds that are just pounding this whole area here. All right, let's go into this morning now, so you can see they're still pounding. I mean, this is, look at these dark reds. I mean, those dark reds are where winds are gusting to 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's just insane right there. That's just insane. And yes, there was energy in the jet stream that helped fuel this storm, obviously, but there are other reasons why it became such a powerhouse as well. The last thing I want to show you is the waves that this thing generated, because you had some pretty serious waves as well. We don't have, I don't know if I can get buoy observations. You can see dirty footers. I mean, just insane. I'm sure there was some coastal flooding too. A lot of storm surge in certain areas. You can see really, really bad. Look at this 40 footers going into the coast here of France here. That's pretty crazy stuff right there. That's absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. So that's what they had to deal with, and it's incredible. So the last thing I'll do here is we'll go over to Earth Null School, because I'm kind of curious about what the sea surface temperatures are in that area. And look, there's another big storm over here. You can see that right there. I wonder if that's going to be hitting them next, because when you get an El Nino, it usually helps fuel these. Europe usually gets a lot of big storms when you have an El Nino. This is, like I said, a super El Nino. So yeah, let's look at the sea surface temperature anomalies here. Surface temperature anomalies. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're above normal. Look at this. So yeah, we have some pretty big anomalies here. It's 3 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. Yeah, these water temperatures are above normal. So that's going to help add fuel to the storm. No surprising, you may not be able to see those temperatures there. There you go. You can sort of see them now. That's the anomaly. So 5.5 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, and 3 degrees Celsius above normal, which is significantly above normal. If we go to the actual sea surface temperature in this area, 75 degrees. Really? 74? That's insanely warm. I know the storm is a little more up here. I know that. Storm is a little more up here, actually. But still, it got its energy from this area, this air mass here. Water temperatures here are more in the 50s. Okay, I knew something wasn't right. Not supposed to be that warm off the UK. But you see surface temperature anomaly. It's still above normal. 2 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. So it was tapping into the warmer water here, obviously, the storm. That's what it was doing, was tapping into the energy from this. So, yeah, this is definitely a storm I had to talk about. It was supposed to be a brief local weather report tonight, but we had to cover this, because it really is absolutely insane to see a storm like this develop. And I would like to go just once again just visualize this thing on the Ventus sky. We're going to rewind this again to this morning, Europe. This morning in Europe here. So you get a look at this storm here. We're going to look at the air temperatures here that. Say some hail too, thunderstorms too, but you also had some hail too, which is kind of surprising. Temperatures, yeah, air temperature's not crazy warm, 61. Let's look at that humidity though, dew points. Yeah, it's tongue of humid air coming out. So this storm just tapped into the energy of that warm water and just exploded basically. It's pretty crazy stuff. What can I tell you? Pretty crazy stuff. So Ciaran, Ciaran really slammed a century-old low-pressure record broken in England. There you go. So there it says it right there. So absolutely crazy stuff right there. And I'll be sure to stay tuned to my community post because I'll share some videos of it of that storm. Actually incredible. But let's get back to our area. I'll just end it with our weather records for the day, and you'll see here below normal still. Islip hit 50. Normal high is 58. That's 8 degrees below normal. The low of 28 was 14 degrees below normal. Did not break the record of 25. That was safe. That gives us an average for the day of 39, which is 11 degrees below normal. Central Park hit 48. And the low of 35. 11 degrees below normal for both. And somehow that winds up to an average of 10 degrees below normal. Don't ask me why, but there you go. So below normal day across the area, but we will be going back more above normal tomorrow. And I'll talk more about the weekend weather tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow we'll have a little more of a moderate day. I'll just briefly go over it with you today because the high is going to move offshore. That gives us more of a southwest flow. So that's going to bring in some warmer air. So expect 50s tomorrow. And we'll see some sun and a few patchy high clouds perhaps from time to time because there will be a little more upper level moisture. So we don't know if we'll get any nice blue skies tomorrow or not. But that is going to wrap it up. Have a good night.